Hello handcrafters, this is my second fall inspired soap, so I'm going to get started with my kaolin clay and colloidal oatmeal, which I add into all of my bars. I am going to pre-mix that in the oils because I don't want to overstick blend, like adding the lye solution and then adding the kaolin clay and the colloidal oatmeal, so I do it in the oils to make sure there's no clumps. I decided to add in rose clay for my swirls because I did make an embed which was made with ultramarine green pigment as well as rose clay. So I wanted to make sure the swirls are going to be matching with the embed leaves that I had previously made. But as you can see at the end, that is not what happened at all. You will see there was some serious color morphing, which I expected, but not as much. So I just added my lye solution and look at this magic from the side. I love when the oils and the lye solution combine and they give you that light tan color. It is so beautiful and magical at the same time. So here's the embed I was talking about, which is made with rose clay and ultramarine green pigment. I wanted to kind of create that fallen leaves, like in the beginning of fall or autumn when the leaves are like these variations of green and red and orange. And so I figured my rose clay and my green pigment would give me that look. And I was very impressed with my embed, but the rest of the soap was not matching. It morphed a lot. And when I made that embed, I didn't make it with any fragrances. I never make the embeds with fragrances. I just make them with unscented batter. That way I can control it a little bit more without worrying about any color morphing or any issues. So my soap batter ended up morphing because of the fragrance oil. So I am getting this together to pipe soap on the top because I really, really like piping now. So even though it takes a little bit longer, when I pipe, I always put the bag in like another cup so it's easier for me to put the batter in there. And the ideal consistency of a soap batter when it's ready for piping is usually where it's like those mashed potatoes that when you make the heel, it doesn't move. They just kind of stay where they are. Right now, the consistency is not at that, but I have recently started just putting it in there at its thick trace because it's easier to get it out of the containers and it's still going to continue to thicken up in the bag. So it always works out either way. But I just won't actually start piping until I see that it's more of that thick, like non-movement. Like you see how that's just not really moving much. That's when I know like I'm ready to pipe. But so my fragrance is what morphed this color, which it is brambleberries, lavender, and amber fragrance. And I was aware that it was going to change the color. I actually used it last year, but this year was a lot different. I was able to maintain my colors in the last year's soap batter, but this year it all became one color, which is very pretty. It reminds me of chocolate, but it all became one color. So this rose clay, it's there, y'all. It's there. You just can't see it at all. So I just go ahead and pipe knowing that my color is going to morph a little bit, or at least that's what I thought. Whenever I do high top soap bars or soap frosting, I always just take the bottom of another soap mold and I just carefully put it on top to protect it and avoid soda ash. So I cut it and I should have been warned by, or I should have known by the top what was going to happen, but I didn't because I cut it and look at this, guys. It was gorgeous. I was like, this is like the prettiest fall soap bar ever. You can see my little rose clay swirls. They were swirling. You can see the soap, the fall embed, the fall leaves embed, and it was matching the rose clay. This was exactly what I had envisioned for this soap bar. But listen, time cures all, and as this was curing, this is exactly what happened. There's no swirls, there's no rose clay, there's just chocolate. Just chocolate with a hint of a pretty fall leaf. So that's what we going with, y'all. This is what happens when your soap batter color morphs. And this was all as a result of the fragrance oil. So I know next time that it could morph a lot more than I anticipated because it definitely didn't do this last year, but there's different, variables that come into play that could affect it. That it could be that it was already heat outside because I did this in the garage and I'm doing this during the summertime, so it's really hot. So temperatures can affect your soap batter, obviously the fragrance oils, the actual temperatures of the oil. So who knows? But I am still pleased with what I got, and it's still going to be a beautiful, nice, moisturizing soap bar for the fall. So thank you guys for watching. If you got some color morphing stories you want to tell me about, please put it in the comment below. And for now, Black Hands are out. Bye bye, guys.